sound of baseball. What's up, everybody? Dr. D here for Monday Night Baseball. Welcome to the Basement Brawl. And yes, the basement. And the Brawl. Wait, are we going to have a brawl in the basement? Or is there something more to this title today? What's up, everybody? Happy Monday for Monday Night Baseball. And sit back and relax, because for the next couple of hours, you are going to get your silver drops. Yes, your silver pack drops here today. And the reason we are here today is because we have a little thing called the Basement Brawl. Here's the rundown for you today on Monday Night Baseball, the Basement Brawl. We'll also be doing a little postseason edition of PT Live. Who knew you could do PT Live in the postseason? Well, we're about to find out. We'll also open some packs. Always a tradition here on the channel. And time permitting, we'll be doing a little PTCS Silver. For those of you who are in PTCS, we'll be doing a little bit of that with a silver roster complexion. I remember what my complexion was like when I was young. It's better now. That's not what we're talking about. Okie dokie then. All right, so that's a look at the rundown. Now you are probably wondering, what's this basement brawl all about? What is that? What is that? Any hints in chat? What do you guys think? Any clues? Any ideas? Basement brawl. Are we going to have baseball players playing baseball in Doc's basement in Club 42? Lowry is wagering a guess. The 0-3 Tigers versus 62 Mets. What? No love for my 2023 Oakland A's? I mean, they were in the basement too, right? Any guesses here? Oh, Roger Craig is a mention here. 23 Yankees fit the theme, Gaba says. Las Vegas, baby. EVC, no need for that. I'm going to banish you to the basement. I don't think they have basements in New York City, do they? They call those laundry rooms, probably. Laundromats. So, let's see what happens. What do you guys think? As always, this is how it goes, guys. If you are on the Dr. Dynastic community, you get to choose a matchup every week as a member of Club 42. Join now. Operators are standing by. DR Dynastic. We also have some other fine streamers in chat. Affiliate streamers, no less. Quite the big deal. ABC and NYC2. Mr. Theme Team himself. Mr. Out of the Park After Dark is in the house. Ezra Denny. The basement matchup, Buck Showalter versus Buck Showalter. Hey now. Oh, you're talking about best years of former New York Mets managers. Okay, I thought you were already kicking a man while he was down. Buck Showalter, four-time manager of the year with 4 different teams. Buck Showalter. If anybody is smart, they'll hire Buck Showalter for 1 year and then let him go before things turn south. So St. Louis Jason came up with this matchup. Jason, are you in chat? Because we want to give you a big shout out today for dreaming up this matchup. Now, we've had a little bit of everything on Monday Night Baseball. You know, we've had our first ever stream was the Hall of Fame bash to recent Hall of Fame inductees going head-to-head. Scott Rowland and his 2006 St. Louis Cardinals against Fred McGriff, the crime dog, and his 1993 Atlanta Braves. We've had the 2070 Yankees versus the 57 I almost said Braves. Yeah, Milwaukee Braves, right? Yeah. Hank's old team. Hank Aaron versus Babe Ruth. Well, tonight, folks, we're stooping to a new low. Yep, that's right. Basement brawl like no other. You guessed it, folks. The 2 worst teams in Major League Baseball history going to square off tonight on Monday Night Baseball. First pitch coming in at 4:40 p.m. for the World Series. Max Scherzer on the bump. Dynastic matchup between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves. A packed house here at Yankee Stadium, the cathedral of baseball, and here we go. First pitch to Otis. Otis with a fly to center. Otis Nixon delivers! Snow on the 1-2, going the other way. High fly ball, deep left field, and gone! And he shoots one to center. Diving catch out in center by Combs. Looks in for the sign. Here's the 2-2. Fly ball, right field at the track, at the wall, and gone! 3-1 count. Babe will swing at that offering. Deep center field. This one's got a chance, and it is gone! Babe Ruth. 515 feet out of the yard. Are you kidding me? I have never seen a ball go that far. Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Croc goes the other way. Base hit. Stalker comes in to score. Another run comes in, and Dykstra scores. Phillies take the lead here in the 9th. They're up 5-3. If you look on the field right there, my mouse is over Jeremy Affeldt. He was jumping up and down on the first base line. Jeremy Affeldt, World Series champion in San Francisco. That is a walk-off. Otis Nixon delivering in the bottom of the 9th, lifting the Braves to the 7-5 victory on Monday Night Baseball. And folks, welcome to the Polo Grounds in New York, where we've got a big matchup here tonight on Monday Night Baseball. Yes, a basement brawl between the 1962 New York Mets, losers of 120 games, and the 2003 Detroit Tigers. Oh, tremendous slouches themselves. 119 losses in that 0-3 season. All right, we take you to the pregame show right now. It's being brought to you by Cubs Fan 23 Steve. Epic showdown. Maybe a epidemic showdown. Not good. Who's worse? We're about to find out. Let's show you these rosters and the lineups. Find out just how bad these teams are. We'll start with your starting lineups. They're brought to you by Hertz Donut. Next time you're in Cedar Falls, Iowa, you might just find a really vanilla gorilla at Hertz Donut, open 25/8. On a Hertz Donut, the best in Cedar Falls. And we'll start with the Mets, the expansion New York Mets, who were called on in relief of the New York Giants and Brooklyn Dodgers after they skipped town for California after the 1957 season. They hastily put together this expansion team, along with the Houston Colt 45s. Well, the New York Mets in that 1962 season may have had a few too many Colt 45s. Let's take a look at your starting lineups. In the outfield, Frank Thomas. No, not that Frank Thomas. Out in left. Joe Christopher in center. And yes, the great Richie Ashburn in the twilight of his career out in right field. Well, hold on a sec. Let me change this real quick. I got to get the proper scene here. This isn't Dr. Dynastic Baseball. This is, yeah, you guessed it, Monday Night Baseball. All right, let's take a look at the infield tonight for the 62 New York Mets, managed by the great Casey Stengel. Felix Mantilla, the third baseman. Elio Chacon, your shortstop. Charlie Neal, a Gold Glover at second base. And your first baseman here tonight, is Marvelous Marv Thronberg, the first baseman. And the catcher, Chris Cannizzaro. And on the mound, yes, the 24-game loser, Roger Craig. That is your starting lineup defensively for the New York Mets of 1962. For the visiting Tigers here tonight. Remember, this is a best-of-3 series. You'll be able to see games 2 and 3 if necessary tomorrow on the Dr. Dynastic channel. Alex Sanchez will be the leadoff man. He'll be followed by Warren Morris batting second. Longtime Detroit Tiger Bobby Higginson batting third. And Dimitri Young will bat cleanup. One of the lone bright spots in the Detroit lineup this year, the DH, former Cincinnati Red and St. Louis Cardinal, Dimitri Young. Wonder why St. Louis Jason picked this matchup. And Craig Monroe will bat fifth. Carlos Pena in the sixth spot. He'll be followed by Halter, Inge, and Santiago batting ninth. And where is Who Trying to Ball? This is a Detroit Tiger matchup. We have so many Tiger fans, but the biggest Tiger fan we can possibly think of is Who Trying to Ball. Hopefully, he is going to join us shortly. And those are your starting lineups. They are brought to you by Hertz Donut. Hertz Donut, proud sponsor of this matchup. The toilet bowl was not available. Let's take a look at your pregame weather report. Lost Duck TW. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a Lost Duck TW. Well, tell you what, on a matchup like this, you'd think we'd get soggy turf, wind, rain, but actually at the Polo Grounds here tonight, we've got pretty good temperature. Pretty good conditions. Cloudy skies, 60 degrees. That's Fahrenheit. Wind blowing out to right at 11 miles per hour. Every once in a while, you'll hear the audio fade out. That's Dr. Dynastic just getting a claim for himself on the pack drop. Streamers got to eat too. Streamers got to eat too. Okay, folks, now that the pregame show is out of the way, it's time for your first pitch. Brought to you by Chess Safari. It ain't checkers, it's chess. Chess Safari. 4:16 p.m. Pacific Time, Monday Night Baseball from the Polo Grounds in the Basement Brawl. Roger Craig deals. There's a ground ball, first base. And Alex Sanchez is retired. That's how this game will start. So 1 up and 1 down for the New York Mets, who turned to their so-called ace during this expansion season. Roger Craig out of Durham, North Carolina. 10 wins, 24 losses. His manager, Casey Stengel, said, well, you got to be good to lose that many. Roger Craig, Mr. Split Finger Fastball, hung up a few too many during this 1962 season. Warren Morris will bat now, drafted by the Texas Rangers out of LSU. 5th round choice. Came over to Detroit from Texas in the Todd Van Poppel trade in exchange for Esteban Loaiza. Warren Morris coming over to the Detroit Tigers in that swap. First pitch on the way to Morris as he grounds to third. Mantilla throws across the diamond. And the camera work just about as shoddy as these two teams. There's 2 down. All right, let me open up chat just a little bit so I can see your lovely voices and what you fine folks have to say about this matchup. Everybody already saying, great call, STL Jason. And I'm not going to lie, that is a thing of beauty. I love this matchup. And I love seeing the Polo Grounds. It was before my time, despite this gray beard. Yes, it's before my time. Bobby Higginson now will bat with 2 out for the 0-3 Tigers. Higginson's numbers on the year: 235, 14 home runs. 12th round choice in 1992. Out of Temple, longtime Philadelphia native. Higginson playing high school ball at Frankford High School in Philadelphia and played collegiately in Philly at Temple. Bobby Higginson. Here's the 1-1 to Bobby. Higginson grounds this sharply to second. Neal is there, and he rolls up the 4-3 double play. Heading to the bottom of 1 at the Polo Grounds with the 62 Mets coming to bat. All right, we don't do predictions here. We can't do that, but I can always ask you. Give me a score and prediction. Who's going to win and what's the score? Let us know in chat right now. You got the 0-3 Tigers. You got the 62 Mets. Who you got? Who are you going with today on Monday Night Baseball? Take a look at your Detroit Tigers of 2003. Defensively this evening, Monroe, Sanchez, and Higginson, the outfield. Around the horn we go on the infield. Halter, Santiago, Morris, and Pena. Brandon Inge will be the catcher. Thank you very much, Steve. Fantastic prediction. And Nate Cornejo will get the start. Nate, not so great. 17 losses against 6 wins in this 2003 season. And if I told you that Nate Cornejo would pitch 194 and 2/3 innings in the year 2003 and he would strike out 46 batters, your reaction would be what? 46 Ks in 194 innings. What would you say about that? Offensively for the Mets, Richie Ashburn, former longtime Philadelphia Philly, will be your leadoff man. Neil Mantilla, Frank Thomas, one of the big boppers in this lineup. And when I say one of the, I mean the only big bopper in the Mets lineup. He'll be followed by Christopher in the 5 spot, Throneberry batting 6th, Hickman DH'ing, Canizaro batting 8th, and Chacon batting 9th. Some predictions rolling in. Gabagoo Luigi saying Tigers 14, Mets -3. That is a statement. That is a prediction. Steve saying 0-0 through 18. That is also a possibility. Lord help me if that happens. And Baseball Dreamland said, as they said in War Games, the only way to win is not to play. There we go. All right, those are your starting lineups once again. We normally have a starting lineup sponsor, but we understand that the matchup is so bad that they pulled their advertising. But if you ever want to play out of the park baseball, franchise mode, folks, this might be one of the teams you want to take in your rebuilding project. You want to start from nowhere. The 0-3 Tigers might be a fun way to start. Remember, they do have a pretty good guy in the farm system coming through, if I'm not mistaken. Initials JV. Pays to be the #1 overall pick sometimes, does it not? Richie Ashburn will be your leadoff man, 3-time hits champion. All of those hits titles coming with the Philadelphia Phillies in 1951, 1953, and 1958. There's a look at the line on Richie Ashburn in his future Hall of Fame career. 5th All-Star game this year. He spent 2 years in Chicago with the Cubbies, then comes over to the expansion New York Mets. His contract actually purchased from Chicago after the 1961 season, and Richie with just a little bit of gas left in the tank. 306 average. And folks, 81 walks and a 424 on-base percentage in his 5th All-Star season with the New York Mets. This broadcast brought to you by Worst Bratwurst. When you want a worst, go with the worst. Ashburn leading things off against Nate Cornejo. Cornejo, part of a vaunted Detroit Tiger rotation. And boy, Alan Trammell, the skipper, had a very tough decision. Who to start in Game 1? The 17-game loser, Nate Cornejo. The 19-game loser, Jeremy Bonderman. Or the 21-game loser, Mike Maroth. Yeah, those guys, by the way, 1, 2, 3 for most losses in the American League in 2003. First time we've ever seen in Major League Baseball history. Yes, 1, 2, and 3 top losers in baseball all on the same team. And yes, is the loser of this game the winner? Trillion? I say so. I say so. Corneo will work from the windup, but probably not for long, judging by how his season has gone. And there's a bloop single to left. If that doesn't just sum up what we're thinking about this game, little blooper, little squeeze me base hit, I don't know what will. So Richie Ashburn leads off for the Mets here in the bottom of the first with a bloop single to left. 2003 Tigers won 43 games. 43. You got to try real hard to pull that off. Well, Ashburn on first. Had 12 steals this year. Lifetime 234 stolen bases. So Ashburn on first for Charlie Neal. Neal, a two-time All-Star with the LA Dodgers back-to-back years in 1959 and 1960. Charlie Neal. From the stretch, here's Corneo. Fly ball, right field. Can of corn. That one is caught. And now you heard our first cotton candy of the night. Cotton candy, I'm already hungry. And with one down now, it's the prize of Isabela, Puerto Rico, the third baseman, Felix Mantilla. Number 12 pick in the expansion draft, Felix Mantilla. Mantilla starting his career in the Milwaukee farm system. Actually roomed with Hank Aaron, an up-and-comer himself. They both played together in the first integrated team in the Southern United States, the Class A Jacksonville squad, affiliate with Milwaukee. Hank Aaron, of course, moving on in his career up the rungs just a little faster than his former minor league teammate and major league teammate, Felix Mantilla. Here's a 1-2 to Felix. Felix with a base knock right up the middle. Wide turn. They'll hold the runner at second. Ashburn is on second. And there's two base hits here in the first inning. So two aboard for Frank Thomas. Thomas, fantastic year. 34 home runs, 94 runs batted in. Former All-Star game third baseman. Started at third base, in fact, in 1958 for the Pittsburgh Pirates. A career year by pretty much any measure for the man they call Lurch at 6'3". Frank Thomas, pretty tall for the times. That was his nickname, Lurch, and also the Big Donkey, before another guy took that moniker in the 2000s. Any guesses on that? Frank Thomas at the plate. Not the Big Hurt, but Lurch with a fly ball to center. Underneath it is Sanchez. The runner will tag. Play at third. Richie Ashburn, the 35-year-old veteran, with some guile, able to tag up and reach third. Joe Christopher now at the plate with runners on the corners and two out. Joe Christopher. Numbers on the year, just 6 home runs and a .244 average, and he's batting in the 5 spot. To give you just some idea of just how bad these lovable losers from New York are. Count is 3-0. And taken inside for ball 4. That's a changeup. Christopher looking all the way. And the bases are now loaded. That brings up Marvin Eugene Throneberry. Yep. That anagram, the initials M-E-T. Marvin Eugene Throneberry. Mets. Here's the pitch to Marv. Marv with a fly ball to right, and this one is caught. The Mets leave him loaded, and after one, we are scoreless.
24 years of excellence have all led to this. Out of the Park Baseball 24 is the definitive award-winning MLB strategy game. Play what the pros play. Out of the Park Baseball 24 takes baseball strategy to the next level like never before. All new on-screen analytics to power your decision-making, giving you a comprehensive view of the field. Dive deeper into the action with new 3D animations and visual improvements that bring the game to life. The most detailed GM mode in sports games keeps raising the realness bar. The most authentic experience ever. And Perfect Team swings back with a whole new experience. The incredible long-running baseball strategy series never stops hustling to be the best. Turn your team into a dynasty. Win the World Series. Out of the Park Baseball 24, the Infinite Baseball Sandbox. Available March 2023.
All right, folks, there it is, a link to this amazing game called Out of the Park Baseball. And if you'd like to support this streamer, you can download the game at the link below on your screen and enter code Dynastic for 10% off. 10% off, you can't beat that. There's no such thing as 10% off better than that. I've never heard of any discount better than 10%. Pretty amazing. Welcome back to the Polo Grounds for this matchup. Oh boy. This is, well, it's a matchup. 62 Mets, 120 losses in their inaugural Major League season. And the 2003 Detroit Tigers, who have been around enough to know better, getting 119 losses during that 03 season. We'll get Dimitri Young to lead off for these Tigers. Dimitri, first All-Star season in 2003. This is actually his second season with the Detroit Tigers. Monster year for Dimitri. 297 average, 29 home runs, 85 ribbies, and 78 runs scored. Dimitri Young came over from Cincinnati a couple years ago in the Juan Encarnacion trade. Dimitri Young, your leadoff man against Roger Craig. Roger Craig, the number 6 pick in that expansion draft, as the Houston Colt 45s and the New York Mets alternated picks, trying to raid rosters of their new friends in Major League Baseball. Roger Craig, fantastic run with the Los Angeles Dodgers. In fact, in 1959, Roger Craig pitched 4 shutouts that year, led the league for the Dodgers, on the way to a 2.06 earned run average. So it's Young, Monroe, and Pena. 1-2 pitch on the way, grounder to short. Easy play for Chicago. There's one down. Now it's Craig Monroe's turn. Texas native, went to Texas High School, in fact, in Texarkana, Texas. There's an 8th-round pick by the Texas Rangers in 1995. Craig Monroe, synonymous with Texas, but out of the Lone Star State and now playing for the Detroit Tigers. Craig Monroe playing his first full Major League season after being claimed off of waivers from the Rangers back in February of 2002. Here's the 1-0 to Monroe. Monroe gets into that one. High fly ball, deep left field, and over the wall, out in left. He cleared the high wall here at the Polo Grounds. Craig Monroe has the Detroit Tigers on top. In the words of Dish, ball go far. Solo home run, 420 feet. Craig Monroe showing some pop on a hanging slider from Roger Craig. 1-0 Detroit. Now it's Carlos Pena coming over from the Oakland Athletics in a 3-team swap over to Detroit. Other players involved in that deal include Jeff Weaver and Jeremy Bonderman. Carlos Pena batting from the left side. 2-2 offering is smoked to center. Boy, you got a lot of ground to cover there. Kudos to the center fielder, Christopher, for cutting that ball off. If he doesn't, that might just be an inside the park home run, even for Carlos Pena. Another look here. Look at him just cut that thing off. You really have to be careful out in center. So Pena with a 1-out single, bringing up Shane Halter. Shane Halter, former high school standout out of Hooks High School in Hooks, Texas. Shane, lettering in football, basketball, baseball, track, and golf at Hooks High School. First pitch on the way to him. He grounds this to first. This could be two. They get the force at second on to first. They will not get the double play. Chacon didn't really get anything on that one. Let's take a look at this replay brought to you by Kashil RN. There's the throw to first, and then look at the throw back. Was that a knuckleball? Interesting relay there by Elio Chacon. Check that arm rating. 55. Are we sure that doesn't mean 55 miles an hour? Ooh, low throw. Dane Halter is on first on what will be a fielder's choice. And Brandon Inge now at the plate. Inge on the year just north of the Mendoza line at 203. Here's the 0-2. Inge will look at that one all the way for strike three. It's our first strikeout of the game, brought to you by Podman 19. Experience the ultimate getaway. Book your trip today to America's finest city, San Diego, or San Diego, with Podman 19. Bottom of two in New York with the Mets at the plate now and trailing 1-0 after a Craig Monroe solo home run that left the yard at 420 feet. And yes, we got the joke, Ezra. Must be a Bay Area thing. You know, the phrase 420, I don't know if you know this, originated from the Bay Area. San Rafael, California. Look it up. It's true. It's on Wikipedia. Jim Hickman will be your leadoff man. He'll DH. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the 1962 Mets up against Nate Cornejo. We mentioned the 46 strikeouts in 194 innings pitched. Lowest strikeout rate of a starting pitcher in more than 20 years. Way to go, Nate. Hickman getting DH duties here tonight. And he pops this into foul territory. That had some serious spin on it. One more look. Let's just take a look at that spin. Kind of cued that one there. Whoop. Woo. One down, and it's the catcher, Chris Cannizzaro. Cannizzaro at the plate with 1 out. Here's the 1-0 to CC as he grounds this one to third. Halter is there to make the play. We're going to get Lowry on the color commentary. Don't let Nate's numbers fool you. He wasn't that good. He's a tremendous slouch. That brings up Elio Chacon. Elio Chacon. 7th player from Venezuela to play in the major leagues. Elio Chacon. 1-2 on the way from Corneo. Swing and a miss for strike three. Another strikeout as we have 2 innings in the books. After 2, it's Detroit 1 and New York nothing. You'll have nothing and like it as we continue our references to a certain golf-themed movie from the 1980s. Ramon Santiago, your leadoff man for the Detroit Tigers, as we begin the third inning. I should even say Ramon Santiago. Yes, he is batting from the 9th spot in the order. It'll be him, and then it'll be followed by Sanchez and Morris. Santiago's numbers on the year, 225 with 2 home runs in his second big league season. Roger Craig working from the windup. 1-0 is grounded to short. Chacon makes the play. Santiago retired. Alex Sanchez, as we go back to the top of the order. The American dream right now at the plate. Alex Sanchez came over from Cuba on a raft back in 1994, age 18. Picked up by the U.S. Coast Guard after 3 days at sea. Stayed at Guantanamo Bay for 16 months. And then became a U.S. citizen not long after that. Alex Sanchez, living the American dream. Works the count full, 3-2 up against Roger Craig. He'll take that for ball 4. So Craig issues his first walk. Oh, I see what you did there, Ezra. Ezra's working in a wrestling reference in there. If you saw Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret on Wednesday last week on Doc's Dugout, where we were hitting it hard on wrestling, but today it's all about baseball, my friend. Though I will take some Stone Cold references if you got them. But I will tell you this matchup is hit rock bottom if you smell what the Rock is cooking. Warren Morris is your hitter. Came over to Detroit as a free agent. Warren Morris, not the most illustrious major league career, came over as a free agent. What is now his 5th major league season. In fact, hitless in 7 at-bats. He got a whopping 7 at-bats in the year 2002. Morris batting from the left side. Morris smacks this through the right side. Base knock. And they will wave the runner into third and safe. So Sanchez getting dirty, slides into third on a Morris single. Runners on the quarters for the Tigers in the third inning, and Bobby Higginson at the plate. Bobby Higginson, who at one stretch from June 30th to July 1st, 2 nights, back-to-back days, Bobby Higginson in the year 1997 hit 4 home runs in 4 straight at-bats. Bobby Higginson. 3 on the first day on June 30th, and then 1 more in his first at-bat in the first inning on July 1st. Higginson aboard. Here's the 2-0 from Craig. Ground ball, first base, throw to second. They'll get the force, but a run will come in to score. There was no turn. They could not turn the double play. So it's 2-0 Detroit on an RBI fielder's choice by Bobby Higginson. 2-0 Detroit. Now it's Dimitri Young. 3-0 to Young. They're going to walk him. Ball 4. Second walk issued by Craig. Don't think that's a bad idea. That's probably the only threatening bat in the entire Tiger order. 2 aboard now for Craig Monroe, who had the home run in the second inning. So Craig Monroe up for more. Here's the 1-0 for Craig. Monroe drills a base hit center field, and they will hold the runner. They hold the runner at third, and the bases are loaded. Higginson got the stop sign, rounding third on a base hit to center. And that brings up Carlos Pena. Pena came over From Oakland, Detroit desperately needing a first baseman slash DH when Dimitri Young in the 2002 season had a season-ending injury. So Carlos Pena gets swapped out and shipped out of Oakland to Detroit. And now Detroit has Carlos Pena as their starting first baseman and Dimitri Young their DH. Bases loaded, 2 out. Roger Craig, the 24-game loser, lets up a base hit to right. That'll score one more run. And 2 more runs. 2 runs come to the score. Young comes in. Pena with a 2-run single. Tigers on top, 4-0.
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy indeed. Here is your replay brought to you by FDA Law. Good piece of hitting there by Pena. 2-run single, 4-0 Detroit. So Pena on first, Monroe on second for Shane Halter. Shane Halter, who back in 2000 for the Detroit Tigers, October 1st, 2000. So almost exactly 23 years ago today, Shane Halter played all 9 positions in a single game for the Detroit Tigers. Played all 9 positions, left, center, right, third base, shortstop, second base, first base, catcher, and yes, some pitching duty as well. And didn't do too bad at the plate either. Didn't do too bad that night. Shane Halter in that game against the Minnesota Twins, 4 for 5, 3 RBI, and scored the game-winning run in the bottom of the 9th against the Twins, a night that Shane Halter will never forget. First pitch to Halter, grounds this to the right side. Easy play by the first baseman, and Throneberry ends the inning. But 3 runs come in for the Tigers, heading to the bottom of the 3rd at the Polo Grounds. To the top of the Mets lineup we go in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Richie Ashburn. Ashburn, 81 walks in this 1962 season. Boy, the guy still has patience, even at the age of 35, able to walk a few times, work the count, get on base. 4-time, well, if you ever call it the walks champion. He led the league 4 times in base on balls, including 1960. Look at that walk total, folks. 116 walks for the Chicago Cubs. Up against Nate Cornejo. There's the 2-2. Drilled to right, and this will go for a base hit. Nice piece of fielding there as Higginson cut it off, but Richie Ashburn is aboard with a leadoff single. Now it's Charlie Neal. Charlie Neal, traded by the LA Dodgers in 1961. Now, rumor has it, as a young prospect, Charlie Neal making his way through the farm system for the Dodgers. The Boston Red Sox were hot on Charlie Neal's heels, if you will. In 1954, they reportedly offered the LA Dodgers $100,000 to purchase the contract and rights of Charlie Neal. Now, the Dodgers obviously said no. But Charlie Neal, had he been sold over to the Boston Red Sox, would likely have become Boston's first ever African-American player. Of course, that would have to wait because Charlie Neal never wound up going to Fenway. Charlie Neal batting for the New York Mets here with a 2-1 count. Grounds this to third. They'll get the force at second. On to first for 2. The double play. That double play brought to you by Dono 43-333 5-4-3 on your scorecard. You're out indeed. And Felix Mantilla now steps in. Mantilla, former minor league roommate and teammate of Hank Aaron. They did eventually reconnect in the major leagues. And in Felix's second full big league season, of course, I don't need to tell you what happened in 1957 in Milwaukee. Yes, World Series champions. Felix Mantilla teaming up once again with the great Hank Aaron. Mantilla at the plate with 2 out. Base hit left side. Got a line drive single right past the shortstop. So Santiago couldn't get to it. Mantilla is aboard with a 2-out single. That brings up Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas grounds to short. They get the force at second, and that'll do it. 3 innings in the books at the Polo Grounds, with the Detroit Tigers on top against the New York Mets in the basement brawl, 4-0. Okay, folks, let's go ahead and take a break from the action very quickly. It's something we like to call the emote race. I want you guys to warm up those typing fingers, those emote fingers. And we're going to spam chat with your favorite emote. It doesn't have to be your favorite, but you got to pick one. Or you got people who will spam 2, if not 3. But if you got a siren in your arsenal, perhaps you're a subscriber to EVC and NYC2, who was streaming earlier today on Monday afternoon baseball. Maybe you want to use that siren, spam that siren when I count down to this race. Or perhaps you know a ravishing young man out of the Pacific Northwest who happens to be calling this game tonight. Perhaps you've got a little wave in your arsenal. Go ahead and show me that wave. Or if you're into EMLB, maybe you'll watch the commish LB himself. Maybe you like a fluffy kitten ninja. Maybe you want to throw that kitty cat out in chat. So the rules are, if this is your first time watching the stream, I'll just say ready, set, go. And at that point, you will go ahead and spam chat. The one with the most spams in chat will get the victory. On your mark, get set, go! All right, here we go. The great emote race of 2023. Let's see how this one starts. We got, whoa, very complicated Berry Basher. Lowry, not very complicated. A whole lot of wrong there. Is that a dish net emote? What do I do with that? St. Louis Jason with a whole lot of waves there. And now Lowry with some FK and commish LB. Back to the wave. More kitty, more kitty. It's going to be close. And it is, oh, there's the, now we get a spore and together, the siren together. Oh my goodness. And Dono is going to push the wave across the finish line. The wave has won. Boy, some new and interesting emotes. I tell you what. Pity sirens for EVC. I agree. Can we get some pity for the kitty as well? Look how close this cat got. Poor kitty cat. Poor kitty cat. It does have 9 lives, so we'll see what happens to the commish and the kitty cat next Monday on Monday Night Baseball. You know what I really wouldn't mind seeing right now is a little bit of wave. Because I know Ezra Denny, if there's one thing I know about our favorite Out of the Park After Dark streamer, Ezra Denny in chat, the one thing Ezra loves is a good old wave. So if you'd be so kind, folks, we have a little thing in my chat, and we'd like to bring it on the road, too. We throw a little wave in there. I'll start you off with 1, and then I just need one person to put in 2. Yes, Dono just did that. And then the next person puts in 3, so on and so forth. The record is 30. 30 waves. We've never seen more than 30. And if we are out of order at any point, then the wave stops. But look at that. We've got 4 waves already. It just warms my heart. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. My heart is aflutter. Alrighty, folks. Another rousing edition of the emote race. And I do understand we have a wave going right now. Oh, it looks like the wave might have been broken up. Remember, you need to start at 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. And then after 4 plus 1 would be 5. So you got to start over on that. I'll go ahead and wipe out that wave here. And we throw this icon in there when we have to start over. But there is no rule that says you can't start over. Minerva, thank you. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. Gonna give you the ASMR here, but I didn't. Sun-kissed strawberry lemonade. That's the drink of choice here on the channel here tonight. What are you drinking? What are you drinking? What is your beverage of choice here tonight? Did you crack open a cold one? Maybe sun-kissed strawberry lemonade? What are you drinking as you watch this stream tonight? Let me know in chat. Let us know. High C fruit punch. There you go, Minerva. Man after my own heart. Brandon Inge will be your leadoff man for the Detroit Tigers. Now, the Detroit Tigers very nearly toppled the New York Mets of 1962 for most losses in a major league season. It seemed like at one point it was a foregone conclusion. By September 22nd of this 2003 season, the Tigers had a whopping 118 losses. They only needed 2 more losses in their final 6 games to tie the record, and if they played 500 ball or less, they would break the record. Well, guess what? They won 5 of their last 6 games during that 2003 season, including an epic comeback, mind you, down at one point to the Minnesota Twins, 8-0. They rallied back to beat the Twins 9-8 to avoid becoming the losingest team in Major League Baseball history. Wise choice, Trillion. Wise choice. Fun Ratty Mead. Other choices as well. Brandon Inge, your leadoff man. Former Virginia Commonwealth University standout. Played at VCU, did Inge, as a shortstop and a reliever. Of course, was drafted by the Detroit Tigers, second-round pick in 1998. And then Inge making his major league debut as a starting catcher. Starting catcher for the Detroit Tigers. And in that debut, threw out not 1, but 2 base runners against the Twins in his major league debut. Brandon Inge. Inge up against Roger Craig. The 1-1 popped up. A lot of foul territory, and it's dropped. Of course it is, because it's the basement brawl. Cannizzaro cannot catch it. Another look on the replay. That confirms it. The Mets are really bad. So Inge stays alive. Works the count full. 3-2. Fly ball. Deep right field on the run. And making the grab is Ashburn. Cannizzaro, that might have just hit him in the face mask. I was hoping maybe Cannizzaro would get pulled from this ball game and we'd get a Choo-Choo Coleman sighting. Alas, there will be no Choo-Choo. One of my favorite stories about Choo-Choo Coleman, there was a baseball card book back in 1973, and there was a picture of the card of Choo-Choo Coleman, Clarence Choo-Choo Coleman, for those of you who don't know, with a quote, "Choo-Choo was quintessence of the early New York Mets. Never hit 250, had 9 career home runs, couldn't handle pitchers. Plus his name was Choo Choo. What more could you ask for? Indeed. What more could you ask for? Ramon Santiago at the plate. Here's the pitch from Craig. Grounded into the hole, deep into the hole from shortstop. And Chacon will make the play. Nice backhanded play as we take a look at this replay. Brought to you by Barry Basher 11. Fantastic defense there from Chacon. Back to the top of the Tiger order we go, and Alex Sanchez. Here's the 2-2. Grounder up the middle. The shortstop is there again. Chacon makes the play. 3 up, 3 down, heading to the bottom of 4 at the Polo Grounds. Fry That Chicken says, can't wait for this game to go on sale so you can buy. Well, it is on sale if you use code Dynastic. 10% off. Hello. But I'm sure there'll be another sale, you know. What percent off do you want? Do you want 11% off Fry That Chicken? Maybe 12%? Would that sweeten the deal? Fantastic game. I've owned it since Out of the Park 3. How far back do you guys go? Is this your first year of Out of the Park? Maybe year 2? Oh, it's code Dynastic. Fry That Chicken. Minerva's been going back since OOTP 21. Lowry kicking it back to OOTP 2. Hello. What else you got? Let me see. That as far back as we go. OOTP 2. I mean, you can only go original. That would be as big as you can get beyond that, I suppose. Fry That Chicken. We'll show the link to the game, too, if you'd like to see it. Again, we'll run another ad, and we'll show you that link if you would like to check it out. We'll run that in a few more innings. Oh, came in a 4-pack at Comp USA with Tony La Russa Baseball Tonight and Aaron versus Ruth. They gave you all of those? Tony La Russa Baseball was a very underrated simulation video game, I will have you know. Fry That Chicken. We will hook you up with a link, my friend. We will hook you up with a link. All right, Joe Christopher at the plate. It will be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the order for the New York Mets. Up against Nate Cornejo. Nate, his father, Marty Cornejo, pitched for the Mets back in 1978. Pitched in 25 games that year for the 78 Mets. Up against his dad's old team. 2-0 on the way to Christopher. Christopher tags a fly to center. Sanchez will make the catch. Now it's Marv Throneberry. Marv, who is stuck in Baltimore behind a man by the name of Jim Gentile. Stuck behind him at first base, so Marv was relegated to pinch hitting and right field duties. Finally, during this 1962 expansion season, New York needing a bat, needing a first baseman. New York approached Baltimore about a trade, and they were able to get Marv Throneberry for a player to be named later. That player to be named later, by the way, wound up being the player that the Mets drafted first in the expansion draft. Their number 1 pick in the expansion draft, Hobie Landreth. Hobie Landreth, the player to be named later in that swap. Yes, Marvelous Marv, indeed. Full count on the way to Throneberry as he drills this into the gap in left center field, all the way to the wall at the Polo Grounds. He's going to have to run a mile to get that one. Throneberry into third. Look at this throw from the outfield. My goodness, if Throneberry hadn't slid into third, he very easily could have had an inside the park home run. Another look here as Marvelous Marvin gets into that one, rolls it to the wall. Watch the throw from the center fielder, Sanchez. Yeah, that's a basement brawl throw if I've ever seen one. Triple for Throneberry. And now the Mets have their first threat here. They're being shut out right now by Nate Cornejo. Jim Hickman, DH at the plate. Throneberry on third. Oh, look at that one. Whoa! Look at that foul ball. The ball is really moving here, folks. My goodness. This Looney Tunes out here. Another squibber. Look at that one. These animations get pretty interesting with all this foul territory. So a pop out for Hickman. And Cannizzaro steps in. Throneberry still 90 feet away. The 0-2 swing and a miss. Strike 3 on a slider. Tigers still on top, 4-0. Be Warren Morris to lead off for the Tigers. Inauspicious start for these 2003 Tigers. That we talked about that stretch to end the season where going into September 22nd, they had 118 losses. They lost 10 in a row before closing out the season with 5 wins in their last 6 games. How about the start of the season for those Tigers? Start of the year, 0-9. They end that losing streak against the Chicago White Sox on April 12th. They get a win. Then they lose 8 straight games. A 1-17 start to that 2003 season. Warren Morris on the 2-2. Morris strokes this to right, and it wedges up against the wall. He'll take a turn. He's headed for second, and he is safe. A stand-up double for Morris. So Warren Morris with an extra base hit to start the 5th. Bobby Higginson now steps up to the plate. 2-time Tiger of the Year, as voted on by the BBWAA Detroit chapter. 1997 and then again in 2000. One of 10 Tigers to have received that prestigious honor on more than one occasion. Kenny McLean was one of them, Miguel Cabrera, Kirk Gibson. Some fantastic players in Detroit Tiger history. Bobby Higginson at the plate. First pitch on the way to Bobby as he flies this to center. Will not be deep enough to get the runner advanced. Fry that chicken. I'm sure chat will help you out with an answer on that. I will be sure to address that as well as we get into the next break. I'd love to help you out on that. Dimitri Young is at the plate now. Dimitri coming over from Cincinnati. Dimitri this year, fantastic year. 297 average, 29 home runs. Only all-star representative for the Detroit Tigers. Fittingly enough, did not play in the All-Star game. That's how bad the Tigers were in 2003. Dimitri swings at that offering. Fly ball the other way. Base hit. Fell in front. Got in front of the left fielder. Morris to third. So Frank Thomas could not get to it. And the Tigers have 2 on. Runners on the corners. Craig Monroe, the hero of this ball game so far, with a 420-foot moonshot out to left center field here at the Polo Grounds. 1-2 on the way. And that'll fall base hit. 5-0 Tigers on an RBI single as Young comes in to score. Monroe strikes again. This replay being brought to you by Don't Cut the D Block Dragon. 5-0. 2003 Tigers in control. And that is going to do it. We're going to get a Beetle Boy 911 emergency call to the bullpen. as Roger Craig's night is done. He gets the hook, and Bob Moorhead comes on in relief here in the fifth. Tigers threatening right now. They've got 2 aboard for Carlos Pena. Pena, who has big game potential earlier in this 2003 season, very early on, back on May 19th. Pena, in one game against Cleveland, 3 home runs and 7 RBI. High ceiling for this young man, Carlos Pena, up against Moorhead. 2 on, 1 out, and he got all of that one. Carlos Pena, 2 men on, 3 men jogging. Pena with a 3-run jack here in the fifth. 8-0 Tigers. Here is your replay. It's brought to you by ESCV, the ultimate destination in baseball escapism. 3-run home run. Tigers with a 4-run fifth, and they lead the Mets 8-0. Now we talk about his big game potential. Pena with a big swing of the bat, and he gives Moorhead a not so warm welcome into this Basement Brawl Classic. Shane Halter now comes to the plate. Former 5th-round choice of the Kansas City Royals back in 1991 out of the University of Texas in Austin. 2-2 from Moorhead. Ground ball up the middle. Fielded cleanly by the second baseman, Neal. 4-3 on your scorecard. 2 down. And Brandon Inge now steps up. Inge hitless in 2 at-bats so far. He's behind in the count. 1-2, and he lines a base hit up the middle just past the second baseman. And Inge is aboard with a 2-out single. That brings up Ramon Santiago as things go from bad to worse for the lovable losers, the New York Mets. This one popped up in foul territory, and Thornberry makes the catch for out number 3. 4 runs come in, heading to the bottom of 5 at the Polo Grounds. All right, folks, direct your attention to the screen right now. Now, that is a look at your streaming schedule for the Out of the Park Development's main channel. That's what you're watching today. So if you'd like to get those silver packs, we got you covered Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. And usually there are some other streams wedged in there as well. There was a question from Fry That Chicken. Is this game good if you don't know all of the Rule 5 stuff and all? And it was mentioned. Oh, is it standard packs today? No silvers, huh? Ah, oh, okay. There we go. All right. Standard packs. Still good. Still good. Better than nothing, right? So the answer to that question is, and it was mentioned in chat, it can be as simple or as complicated as you like. So if there's anything in the game that you don't want to do, then you can have the AI, you can task somebody else with it. So if you like to manage the game, you like to pinch hit, set the lineups, set the rotation, put shifts on, put pitch counts on guys, you can do that. Or you could just sit back, let a manager completely do it, and you can do whatever you want in the front office. You can sign players, you can make trades, you can run the draft, you can sign international free agents, you can pick guys up off the waiver wire, you can do the Rule 5 draft. Or you get an assistant GM, and you can task that to them. There's a little drop-down menu, and you tell your assistant GM, I don't want to do this. I'll let you do it. I don't want to hire my minor league staff year after year. I don't want to hire a manager. I want you, you can pretty much have your assistant do anything. So truth be told, that's the thing I really like about the game, is that it is for everybody. If you've been doing this for decades, you can keep on peeling back more and more to it. Or if you're absolutely new to it, just play at your own pace. I will tell you, Rule 5 draft, pretty simple though. Rule 5, I know that was probably just a random example for you, but Rule 5, not too difficult. I think you could handle it. Basically, any players that have been in the minor leagues for X amount of years, that team that has that minor leaguer didn't protect that player on their, 40-man roster? And then you could take that player in the Rule 5 draft, and then the rule is this. You have to put that player on your active roster, and if you don't that year, then they go back to the team that you drafted them from. So, just if you ever want to get into the Rule 5 draft. Rule 5 draft is great for a team that's reloading, that has a ton of roster spots and not a lot of talent. Because you can find some pretty decent talent in a Rule 5 draft, but the problem is having enough spots on a roster to accommodate. So if you're up and coming and you're trying to build a roster, then the Rule 5 draft is a fun place to go. But again, if you wouldn't like to do that, you can have your assistant GM do it for you. Cito says, giant stash of packs makes it so hard he can't tell when we're getting silver or regular packs. It's true. Ilio Chacon to lead off here for the New York Mets, who trail 8-0. Nate Cornejo. I don't know if there's a single time in Nate Cornejo's career that he's been staked to an 8-0 lead through 4 innings. Just don't think it's happened. Chacon will lead things off. Works the count full, 3-2. He looks at that offering for ball 4. So the slider missed. Chacon on first. Chacon, somewhat a threat to steal. 12 stolen bases in 19 attempts. Number 4 pick in the expansion draft by the Mets from the Cincinnati Reds. And to the top of the order we go. Richie Ashburn. Future Hall of Famer Richie Ashburn lines it right to third. Halter makes the catch. 1 down. Chacon still on first for Charlie Neal. Neal, for you history buffs out there, drove in a run in his first game as a Met. In fact, in the Mets' very first game, it came in St. Louis. Charlie Neal drove in the first run in New York Mets history. One of 58 RBI in this 1962 season. Charlie Neal, first pitch swinging, fly ball, center field on the run, and making the grab is Sanchez. Chacon remains on first. Tell you what, I'm a first base coach for a fall baseball team with 17-year-olds. I could do a way better job than what I'm seeing with these Tigers. Telling you what. Felix Mantilla on 3-2. Runner going on the pitch with 2 out. They'll get the out, and that will do it. And the Mets still goose-egged as we go to the 6th at the Polo Grounds. The Detroit Tigers of 2003 lead it 8-0. Alex Sanchez, your leadoff man, as we start the 6th inning, up against the reliever, Bob Moorhead. And this one shot into the gap, deep center field, off the wall. Sanchez heading for third. He will slide into the third. Second triple we've seen tonight. Boy, Sanchez ripped that one out to center field. And you got a lot of ground to cover here at the Polo Grounds. Another look on the replay. It's brought to you by Jeff Steelflex 47. Sanchez with a leadoff triple. Got a lot of speed, does Sanchez. Coming over from Milwaukee from the Brewers in 2003. After 8 stolen bases in 43 games with the Brewers, he really got the green light after coming over to Detroit. 44 stolen bases. Now, he was caught stealing 24 times. That led all of Major League Baseball. Nobody was caught stealing more in 2003 than Alex Sanchez. Sanchez on third, 90 feet away. Warren Morris at the plate. Morris on the 2-1 offering. Base hit up the middle. 9-0. The Tigers blowing this one wide open against the 62 Mets. So Morris with an RBI single. And Moorhead scratches his head. Mets frustrations continue. Bobby Higginson now comes up to the plate. Higginson on the 2-2, grounded to second. They'll get the force for the first out. They will not get the turn, though, as Chacon did not make the play. Dimitri Young with a man on and one out. Young going the other way. Line drive, base hit left field. Dimitri Young with a 1-out single. Higginson to second. And now here comes that man, Craig Monroe. Craig Monroe at the plate. Mother, by the way, Craig Monroe, his mother's name? Marilyn. Yes, Marilyn Monroe. Craig Monroe on a full count pitch, 3-2. And this one curving. Will it stay in play? It will. Thomas makes the catch out in no man's land. Let's take another look here. Kind of obscured by the camera. But in that corner, Thomas made the catch. So Frank Thomas makes the catch in foul territory. Runners do not advance. 2 out, and now it's Carlos Pena. Pena, who was referenced several times in the book Moneyball, and then had a very minor appearance in the movie itself. Not Carlos Pena himself, but the actor who portrayed Carlos Pena in the movie Moneyball at the plate. Pena with a fly to center, and that'll do it. Another run comes in. Tigers lead it 9-0 in the basement brawl. Let's take a look at your lineup for tonight. What we got on deck. Razor, what is up? What is up? Razor FMG bringing the raid horns out there, trumpeting the bugles from the channel. Thank you so much for that. A. Smith, I believe that is the reference to the movie Moneyball. Absolutely. Why is Pena playing? They wanted Hatterberg in the lineup. The point of consternation between the GM in the movie, Billy Beane, and the manager, Art Howe. It kind of played up the drama between those two in the movie. Of course, the book didn't really mention any sort of friction between Art Howe and Billy Beane, but they needed that friction for Hollywood, and I bought into it. I thought it was great. I think sometimes you need to take dramatic license. Though, come on, seriously, can you not mention Tim Hudson, Barry Zito, and Mark Mulder a little bit in the movie? Those guys might have had something to do with that team. Just a little bit. Just saying. So there's a look at the lineup, what we got for you tonight. Now, we are an hour and 23 minutes into this broadcast, so I don't know how much we'll be able to do, but we will be doing a little PT Live. Hopefully some other things too. PTCS, we'll see if we can get a roster going. If not, all of this will continue in our conversation tomorrow on my channel. That's DR Dynastic. DR Dynastic. In fact, I'll give you my link right now if you would like to do so. And please, by all means, feel free to give me a follow. Those alerts will pop up on the scoreboard. We'll give you a proper shout out. And while you're at it, if you'd be so kind, would my fellow affiliate streamers, if you're looking for pack drops, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, any day of the week, any time of the day, would our affiliate streamers please present yourselves? And if you do not have the power to give a link, I'd be happy to write it in there for you. Any more MLB Live updates coming? Yes, there will be one final one, Duckworth, next week. I believe October, is it the 8th? I believe it's next Monday. It might, maybe October 9th. Maybe Sunday into Monday. But there will be one final update. One final update, Duck. That is my understanding of the situation. Again, if you'd like to follow, you can go ahead and click my name right there in chat and click that follow button, that little heart icon. And there are other affiliate streamers too. They're not identifying themselves, but I'll tell you all about them. EVC and NYC2 has been in chat tonight. Please give him a follow. Ezra Denny, a resident Giants fan, also an affiliate streamer. Am I missing anybody that's been in chat here that's an affiliate streamer? Do not think so, but feel free to plug away if you are present. We want to make sure everybody is getting some love here. There you go. Leo says Monday, October 9th, early morning hours. So basically do it Sunday and then be ready for Monday. Back to the game here at the Polo Grounds. This one has been all Detroit. Tigers on top, 9-0. 62 Mets will send Frank Thomas to lead off the 6th against Nate Corneo. Thomas drills that one, center field, and over the center fielder, all the way to deep center field. Let's see how far Frank Thomas can go. He's waddling around third, and he's heading for a home. Frank Thomas breaks up the shutout with an inside the park home run on Out of the Park Monday Night Baseball. Frank Thomas, lurch. And it's blackout conditions here at the Polo Grounds. You'll have to trust me. An inside the park home run, head first into home. Frank Thomas, 9-1. Mets still trail by 8. Replacing the Kentucky Derby as the most thrilling 2 minutes in sports. Joe Christopher now at the plate on the 2-1. He's got a base knock to right. Suddenly Corneo is getting hit around here. Nate Corneo, 7 base hits now allowed. His pitch count just at 86. Now it's Marvelous Marv at the plate. Marv coming over. Reunited with the great Casey Stengel. Stengel managing Throneberry when they were both in the Bronx with the New York Yankees. Throneberry then playing for 4 teams in the last 4 years, coming over to the expansion Mets to play under the great Casey Stengel. Here's the 1-2 to Marv. Marv grounds this weakly to short, stepping on the bag. They get the force and on to first for 2 for the double play. Nice play there by Ramon Santiago. Let's take another look at this replay brought to you by Underdog 44. 2 underdogs going head-to-head, and it's still 9-1 after that double play. Jim Hickman now steps in. Hickman, fly to left. This could be extra bases. Nope, it's cut off nicely. Monroe cuts it off. So important. That's where speed will really come into play in this ballpark. You need guys who can cover ground, cover distance. That's why we've seen 2 triples and an inside the park home run thus far at the Polo Grounds. Chris Cannizzaro with the runner going. Throw down to second is going to be well in time. Inge rifles it down to second, and Hickman is caught stealing. 1 run comes in for the Mets as we head to the 7th. Shane Halter, your leadoff man for the Detroit Tigers. The lead is up to 8, 9-1. Grounder to shortstop. Chacon will make the play. And now it's Brandon Inge. Great job by Inge last inning to gun down the runner. Strong defensive catcher, Brandon Inge on the 1-2. Inge smokes this one into left center field. That one is rolling all to the wall. Brandon Inge sliding into second. He'll just stay at second. Almost like a quarterback in the final seconds of a football game, sliding to the 1-yard line to make sure the other team doesn't get possession. I don't know about that, but Inge has a double here with 1 down. And Ramon Santiago on the 0-1. Santiago drills this to left center field. That one going to the wall. Ramon stops at second. Boy, they are putting on the brakes on these Tiger batters. Maybe Alan Trammell throwing in the towel, giving them a little bit of mercy here. That will do it for the reliever as Moorhead is out and Sherman Jones comes in. The roadblock, Sherman Jones. 7.71 ERA for the Mets in 1962. Pretty much par for the course, if you ask me. Santiago on second. Sherman Jones from the stretch. Full count pitch. Swing and miss. Strike 3. There's 2 down. And that brings up Warren Morris. Want to remind you that right after the final out here in the top of the 7th, we'll have our special showcase. The 7th inning stretch will be featuring you, our fellow Out of the Parkers. And if you haven't already done so, check out my Discord on my channel, and we'll get that pick of you in for the next 7th inning stretch. Warren Morris, fly ball, center field, base hit. Another run comes in, and the carnage continues. Detroit now leads it by 10, 11-1 on a Morris RBI single. That runner will be charged to Moorhead. We can close the book on him. 2 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. Warren Morris with a base knock. 3-2 to Bobby Higginson. Runner going with 2 out. Ball 4. So 2 on, 2 out for Dimitri Young. Dimitri Young, for those not in the know, not only a professional baseball player, but a renowned baseball card collector. Dimitri Young showed up to a card show in 2000 with a teammate at the time, was offered $2,000 to appear at the card show. He noticed a Pete Rose rookie card there and said, I'll take that card in lieu of a $2,000 payment instead. That was the start of a prolific collecting career for Dimitri Young, who at one point, his collection believed to be in the millions of dollars in worth, in value. Dimitri Young. 2-1 to Dimitri as he flies this to center. And that'll do it. As we head to the 7th inning stretch in this basement brawl. look at these beautiful people. Really Vanilla Gorilla. And Who Trying to Ball, our resident big-time Tiger fan, who is not here, but I'm sure will be watching this broadcast on VOD. And I'll also be putting this up on my YouTube page. Lowry was asking, and I'll tell you guys in chat if you'd like to go ahead and submit your own photo with your own username for a perfect team. You can go ahead and do so at the link on your screen. Just go to my Twitch page. That's Dr. Dynastic. And we'd love to get a picture of you. Just submit it on my Discord. And if you don't know how to do that, if you're not into Discord, just let me know on my channel and we'll find another way to get that picture. We'd love to have you. Would love to say hi because we want to know all of our friends in Out of the Park Baseball. That's what this is all about. To the bottom of the 7th we go at the Polo Grounds. 11-1. The 2003 Detroit Tigers in control against the 1962 New York Mets. Nate Corneo, 6 pitches away from the century mark. 94 pitches thrown. Has given up just 1 run on 8 hits and 2 walks so far. Up against the catcher, Chris Cannizzaro. 2-2 offering. Looking at strike 3. Cornejo registers his 3rd strikeout. That brings up Elio Chacon. Chacon, the shortstop. Interesting with Chacon in the shortstop position. You get new teammates, especially when you're in an expansion team. And when you're on the field, Chacon and the center fielder, Richie Ashburn, longtime center fielder Richie Ashburn, they would constantly run into each other in the outfield when there's that ball where, you know, be between the shortstop and the center fielder. They would constantly run into each other, Wood Chacon and Wood Ashburn. Well, apparently that was because of a language barrier. And he would keep on saying, La Tango. And Richie Ashburn didn't quite understand what he was saying, as Ashburn would be saying ball, ball, ball. Well, to break the language barrier and to make sure that there be no more collisions between the shortstop and the outfielder, Richie Ashburn would say those words. He would say those same words. He would say, La Tango, I got it. Well, Richie Ashburn got a little comfortable in the outfield, and one day, Richie Ashburn playing center and Frank Thomas out and left at the time. Richie Ashburn called La Tango, and he collided with Frank Thomas. They had words with each other. And Richie said, what happened? I said La Tango, and Frank Thomas, after running into him, said, what the hell is a yellow tango? True story. Elio Chacon at the plate. Full count pitch, 3-2. Chacon down the line and fair. Chacon for extra bases. Elio Chacon. La Tango. He's got it into third with a triple. Trace bases for Chacon. It's a 1-out triple. And now it's Richie Ashburn. And who said, La Tango, I got it. Let's see if he's got it here with the Mets on the ropes, trailing by 10 in the 7th. Chacon, 90 feet away. Corneo's pitch is grounded to second. That will score the runner from third. It's a ground ball out, though. Ashburn is retired. 11-2. Must have been quite the hurt. Yes, indeed. For Frank Thomas. Charlie Neal. First pitch offering, grounds to third, 5-3, and the side is retired. The Mets score for a 2nd inning in a row, but still trail by 9. At the end of 7, it's the 0-3 Tigers 11 and the 62 Mets 2. Greg Monroe, your leadoff man. We understand he's very popular in Detroit parts these days, post his playing career. Greg Monroe. 2-2 pitch on the way. Monroe will get base hit number 4. So Craig Monroe has really come up big here in the basement brawl. Tags Sherman Jones for a base knock. And now it's Carlos Pena. He's working on a 3-hit night himself. Boy, who gets game MVP honors in this one, Monroe or Pena? Carlos Pena, full count pitch. Pena goes down swinging. 1 down. Monroe remains on second. Shane Halter at the plate. Halter drills this to center. And Christopher will make the catch. 2 down. Brandon Inge. Inge with a fly to deep right field to the track. And Ashburn makes the catch for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 8th in New York. The Mets still trailing by 9. Felix Mantilla, your leadoff man for the 1962 Mets. The Mets, one of 2 expansion teams in 1962 with the Houston Colts, the Colt 45s. They were the 19th and 20th teams to join the Major League Baseball ranks. Felix Mantilla, first pitch swinging, grounder into the hole at short. Santiago throws to first, 1 up, 1 down. And now it is Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas, the proud father of 8 children, married Dolores Wozniak in 1951. Frank Thomas. Thomas on the 0-2. Skies this one up. Shallow right field. Second baseman Morris will make the catch. Now it's Joe Christopher. Christopher on the 1-0 offering. Christopher pops this one up in foul territory. First baseman Pena calls off the catcher Inge as the 62 Mets go down in order. We head to the 9th. 11-2 Tigers. Santiago, your leadoff man against Sherman Jones, top of the 9th. Detroit looking to add on. Sharp ground ball up the middle to second. Neal will make the play as he throws to Throneberry, 1 down. Now it's Alex Sanchez. Sanchez. Fly to right at the wall. Ashburn makes the catch in front of that short porch. 2 down. And Warren Morris. 0-2 to Morris. Morris going the other way. Left fielder Thomas comes in to make the catch for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 9th at the Polo Grounds. 11-2 Detroit. Throneberry, Hickman, and Cannizzaro, scheduled batters for the Mets, who are down to their final 3 outs. Nate Cornejo trying to put the finishing touches on this one. We are playing in 1962 conditions because the 62 Mets are the home team. So Nate Cornejo with that 60 stamina rating from 2003 translates very nicely to the year 1962. He's thrown 119 pitches. Full count pitch on the way. This one is going to fall for a base hit. Marv's got a single. Marv Throneberry, leadoff single to keep the Mets' slim hopes alive. And we will get a pinch hitter now. Jim Hickman, DH, will be pinch hit for by Gene Woodling. Woodling, pinch hitting. Left-handed bat against a right-handed arm. Fly ball, left field on the 2-2 offering. It is caught by Monroe. And there's 1 down. We'll get another pinch hitter. This in the 8 spot. Ed Boucher, pinch hitting. Former Philadelphia Philly and Chicago Cub. Ed Boucher. The 0-2. Grounds to short. They'll get the force at second. No double play, but they will wipe out the lead runner. And the Oregon fires up here with 2 out. And the Mets down to their final out. Elio Chacon up against Nate Corneo. 3-0 pitch. Corneo issues the walk. Ball 4. And now it's up to Richie Ashburn. 2 on, 2 out. Tigers by 9. 2-2 pitch. Popped up. And that's your ball game. And the 2003 Detroit Tigers are the best of the worst. The 119-loss Tigers take down the 120-loss Mets 11-2. All right, folks, that's your ball game as the Detroit Tigers take down the New York Mets. The basement brawl. STL Jason came up with this matchup. Jason, I love the matchup. I think it worked. Big thank you to our title sponsor here tonight, STL Jason, who completed our community challenge. Every once in a while on the channel, we do on the Dr. Dynastic channel have a sponsored stream. And when we do that, if you play the game, download it, do all the fun stuff, then you can become the title sponsor, which means you get to pick the matchup. You get a gifted sub. STL Jason did that. We also have 3 other people who achieved that. You'll be seeing them throughout the month of October. If you'd like to be able to join Club 42 yourself, you can do that anytime. And STL Jason, I love the fact that you picked this matchup. I know this has been an idea for you for a while, and I love that we did it. And this is, for the record, a best of 3 series. Best of 3 series. So we will continue this series tomorrow in Detroit. 2003 Detroit. We will play that series to its conclusion tomorrow on my stream. That's Dr. Dynastic. Jason says 11 is the second highest run scored in a game for the entire season for the Tigers. They had 15 versus the Royals late in that year. So 11 runs. It just had to come up against the worst team in Major League Baseball history, at least as far as losses wise, the New York Mets. And a look now as we bring you the post-game show brought to you by EVC and NYC2. Join EVC every Wednesday for Guess the Set on Twitch. 2 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday, only on Twitch. Who Tried a Ball has just come in time to see his 2003 Detroit Tigers take down the 1962 New York Mets. A bigger Tiger fan you will not meet than Who Tried a Ball. What is up? Final stats on the night. Roger Craig, who lost 24 games in the 1962 expansion year for the Mets, he takes the loss. 4 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Nate Corneo gets the victory for the Tigers. Goes the distance, 9 innings, 2 runs on 10 hits, and 3 walks. He struck out 3. Offensively, would you believe 2 hitters with 4 hit nights for the Detroit Tigers? Warren Morris, 4 hits in 6 at-bats, 1 run, and 2 runs scored. He had a double, did Warren Morris. Also on the night, Craig Monroe, 4 hits in 5 at-bats, 2 RBI, 2 runs scored. Craig Monroe, who had a 420-foot home run in the 2nd and a double in the 5th. Craig Monroe, 4 for 5. And don't forget Carlos Pena, 3 hits in 5 at-bats, 5 RBI. 3 of those runs coming in on a 3-run home run in the 5th. Those are your offensive leaders here tonight. Interesting night, too, here at the Polo Grounds. Marv Throneberry had a triple. Elio Chacon also with a triple. Alex Sanchez, he also had a triple. And we also saw an inside the park home run by Frank Thomas. Most exciting 2 minutes in sports since the Kentucky Derby. So final here tonight, Detroit Tigers take down the New York Mets 11-2. All right, folks, we're going to take a timeout. And if you're interested in purchasing Out of the Park Baseball at a 10% off discount, take a look.
24 years of excellence have all led to this. Out of the Park Baseball 24 is the definitive award-winning MLB strategy game. Play what the pros play. Out of the Park Baseball 24 takes baseball strategy to the next level like never before. All new on-screen analytics to power your decision-making, giving you a comprehensive view of the field. Dive deeper into the action with new 3D animations and visual improvements that bring the game to life. The most detailed GM mode in sports games keeps raising the realness bar. The most authentic experience ever. And Perfect Team swings back with a whole new experience. The incredible long-running baseball strategy series never stops hustling to be the best. Turn your team into a dynasty. Win the World Series. Out of the Park Baseball 24, the infinite baseball sandbox. Available March 2023.
All right, and there is the link right now for you. I'm going to type that in for you too, folks, if you want it easier. And just be sure to use that link. Dynastic 10% off. By doing that, you will actually be saving 10% off and supporting me. It's a win-win. Talk about a double play. So there it is. There's your link if you'd like to download Out of the Park 24 and get yourself 10% off. Okay, dokie. Let's get back to it. Let's go ahead and play a little bit more of Out of the Park here on Monday Night Baseball. Dr. D in the house. We will be continuing this stream tomorrow on my stream. We'll go ahead and give you the schedule on that. This is not an updated schedule, unfortunately. I did not have time to do that, but we will be on tomorrow at noon Pacific for pack drops and a 10-pack giveaway. Our stream will start at about noon Pacific tomorrow. Noon Pacific tomorrow. Now, quick programming note. There will be no Wednesday stream. I'm normally on Wednesdays. I will not be streaming this Wednesday, but I will be back Thursday and Friday. We're going to also have some big announcements later on this month. We're calling it Doctober as we celebrate 4 years on Twitch and our first full season as our first season, I should say, as an affiliate streamer. We're going to have some huge giveaways thanks to our friends at Out of the Park Developments on my channel, including free game codes, PT Plus, free packs, you name it. The list goes on and on. Okay, back to the game here. We do want to let you know, again, this series will continue tomorrow. In the meantime, what is our lineup? Yes, what are we going to do? We've only got about 8 minutes left. Selfishly speaking, though, I may want to go a little bit longer because apparently I have not been able to get drops. I don't know for whatever reason, but no drops coming in for me. That's what happens when you got all these windows open. Sometimes the drops do not drop. Oh, see, there comes a drop right there. Good. So at least that one came. I did not catch Miggy's last game. Who tried a ball? I did not. I'm sure you did. Miguel Cabrera, final game, first ballot Hall of Fame. Emotions. I did see the final out. I thought that was really cool. Goes right to him. Bang, bang, play it first. I love it. I love it. Well, let's see. I don't think we're going to have time for PTCS. So if we're thinking about PTCS, we may do that on my stream tomorrow. But I figure the things that we would like to do, probably first of all, let's go ahead and go into Perfect Team. We're up to gold now. We got promoted. We did win our league. Our theme team won silver this past week. So we're happy about that. And boy, we got some packs to open, guys. Got some packs to open. So we will do that to close this one out. Ah, thank you, Who Trying to Paul. Please do throw that up on my Discord. Please do. I would love to see it. Let's see how we're doing so far in our gold season. Yep, 6-13 on a 7-game losing streak. Yep. Okay. We got problems. We got problems. We're definitely a good silver team and not a good gold team. Oh, because I haven't changed my rotation. Oh, no. Oh, no. Guys, don't forget to check your rotations after you are in the playoffs. I forgot. So, Rigetti or Vita. We'll throw Rigetti in the 5 spot. Oops. That was Nufta for sure. Alrighty. So, there's that. That might be part of the problem. Because we are probably, our starter ERA is probably awful. Yeah, 14th, 6.55 ERA. That's what happens when you're not getting start or rest. Oopsies. Let's go ahead. Ah, Lost Duck. What is up? Lost Duck. TW is in the house. Ducky, what is going on? Just completed game 1 of our best of 3 for those of you just joining us, but hopefully we'll get you some pack drops before the night is over. Let's go ahead and open some packs. But before we do that, don't worry, Who Tried to Ball. You can always check out the VOD or check out, I'll do a supercut as well on my YouTube. So don't worry about it. I hope you enjoyed it. We might have mentioned you once or twice or 3 times. So we're going to do a little PT Live. Guys, this is my first year of PT Live. And I did it late in the season. I'm learning as I go. But one thing that I did do, and I would recommend you do the same. So this is only going to work for playoffs, right? And now I'm looking at starters. Starting pitchers for tomorrow. It's going to be hard because there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 starters tomorrow. Which means that as you're going up against all these other people who are playing, hundreds and hundreds of people played, you want to make sure there's your leaderboard from yesterday that you pick up and you get yourself a good starting pitcher or 2. And might I recommend Kevin Gossman? Now, there are other starting pitchers tomorrow. There are other starting pitchers tomorrow. Like, let's say, for example, the starter for the Brewers, Corbin Burns. What does he look like, Doc? Let's take a look. Corbin. Oh, Corbin. Oh, come on. Oh, that's because my max is here. Let me see. I was building my PTCS. So I was okay, so Corbin Burns right now, guys. Burns would be a guy, right? Oh, no. Look at that. He's a gold card and he's going for 2,400 perfect points because people know that you're going to be desperate to buy a guy like that. Because we don't think he's not going to get promoted to diamond, we think, right? Take a look at his splits. I don't think so. Splits in September. Well, could. Corbin Burns, 2.51 ERA in September. 5 starts, 28 innings, 8 walks, 33 Ks. I would think about it. I would think about it. Remember, too, any cards you're getting now, if Milwaukee wins, you're getting this card for the rest of the postseason. He's definitely not going to go down. He's not going to go below gold. But is there a possibility that Corbin Burns, come Monday, is a diamond card? It's a reach. He did drop by 10 points from diamond. Does he get back up? I'm talking myself into this. I'm going to buy it. I bought it. There's plenty more out there. If you want to pick one up, there's still out there for 2,500. Worst case scenario, you wind up selling it back for 1,000. But you can also use it for the All-Star mission. So there is utility for this card. And best case scenario, not only does he pitch for you in PT Live, but also maybe you get him for Diamond. Maybe he gets promoted to Diamond. I doubt it. It's a long shot. I could see him getting up to like an 88, maybe 89. A 90 is a little bit of a reach, but who knows? In which case, that card is worth 4,000 perfect points, which means that 2,500 perfect point investment turns into 4,000 perfect points. So I took a shot at that one. Now, am I going to have room for him in my rotation? Now, that's where Kevin Gossman comes in. Let's see where Gossman is right now. Let's see what he's going for. He is a diamond card. Guys, look at Kevin Gossman right now. You would be crazy not to pick up this Gossman card right now for 4,000. I'm imploring you right now, get this card. And I'm going to tell you why. Kevin Gossman, if you want to play him in PT Live, if you don't already have him, I'm looking up his stats. Now, remember, I'm less concerned about season stats, and I'm more concerned about what are they doing right now. Kevin Gossman, on the year, a 3.16 ERA, 237 strikeouts in 185 innings. Fantastic. Guys, his last 2 starts, now, granted, they were both against the Yankees. One at Yankee Stadium, one at home in Toronto. Kevin Gossman, 13 innings, 6 hits, 5 walks, 15 strikeouts in 2 starts, and nary a single run allowed. Kevin Gossman. Now the other question is, as I look at his splits, looking at Kevin Gossman's splits in the month of September, 2.33 strikeouts per walk, 189 average against, still looking. I want to look up at his game log now. Kevin Gossman, back-to-back shutout performances. He did get lit up for 4 runs in 4 2/3 against Texas, but before that, 8 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts against the Royals. Guys, that's a solid play here. So the final update happens Sunday night into Monday morning, right? Late or early Monday morning. Now, I'm not suggesting that he's going to be a perfect card. I doubt that. But he's been really good. And 4,000 points. If you're playing Perfect Team live, if you're playing PT Live at all, this is a free card. Buy it. Start him tomorrow if you don't have a better option. Where are you on PT Live? Play him tomorrow against Minnesota, 1:38 Pacific. And you get a start at him. And probably he's going to hopefully do well. If you don't like him, then you can sell him for exactly what you paid for him. 4,000. It's a quick purchase. It's free money, guys. So highly recommend that. All right. And then also another card I like, personally, me, Jordan Montgomery. Oops. Look here. All right, where are my cards at? Where are my Ranger fans at? Jordan Montgomery has been crazy good. He's only a gold right now. And his starts, let's see. At Seattle, 6 innings, 1 run, 5 strikeouts, Start before that against Seattle, 7 innings, no runs, 6 strikeouts. Start before that against Boston, 7 innings, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. Start before that in Toronto against the Blue Jays, 7 innings, no runs, 3 strikeouts. 1, 2, 3, 21. In his last 27 innings, he's given up 2 runs. His last 27 innings, 2 runs allowed. And he struck out 22 batters. Guys, Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery. Let's take a look, see what he's going for. That's a buy. That's a buy. Now, is he going to get up to diamond? I don't know. That's a big leap from 81 to 90. But I'll tell you what, you'll be thanking me when he's pitching for you on your PT Live team. And if you had to quick sell him and you only get 1,000 for him after spending 1,400, 400 perfect points. Yeah, 400 perfect points. Don't look at it as 1,400. Look at it like 400. It's a rental. So my question is, who am I going to start now that I picked up the new pitcher? So I got Burns. Now, okay, here's the other thing. Don't look at the projected starters here for Out of the Park. We do a lot of great things with Out of the Park baseball. One of the things we don't necessarily do great at is projecting starting pitchers. You want to look at Fangraphs or ESPN.com. Look at the scheduled starters. Your scheduled starters for tomorrow: Montgomery, Glasnow, Gossman, Lopez, Bat, Burns, Luzardo, and Wheeler. Those are the pitchers you need tomorrow. So, as I say that, Corbin Burns, look at that. It should say green. It should say green right there that he's starting. Corbin Burns is not listed as a starter for PT Live. He is starting tomorrow. Corbin Burns is starting. And Monty is a solid spec, in your opinion. Are we talking Monty Burns, Corbin Burns here? Who are we looking at? Sorry. Oh, Jordan Montgomery. Yes. I like it, Mendro. I think it's a great purchase. Again, even if at that there's really a few price points you really want to look at. Now we're talking speculation. We're talking about purchasing a card with the idea that it will then get a ratings boost and be worth more. Gold, if you're right on a gold, you go from 1,000 to 4,000. Pretty good. If you go from diamond to perfect, you go from 4,000 to 20,000. That is amazing. I like both of those. And another one to think is silver to gold. Silver to gold is higher percentage, lower return as far as overall, because you're investing 100 for the possibility of 1,000. That's nice. That's a 9-to-1 return. 10-to-1, I guess, depending on how you calculate it. But Gossman and Montgomery, those two are my guys. Now, Corbin Burns, I could start tomorrow, and I wish I could. But who would I boot for Corbin Burns is the question. And I don't know if I want to take either Gossman or Montgomery. And then the relief situation, I'm just going head to head. I'm figuring the Phillies-Marlins game is going to be tight, and I'm figuring one of these two guys will get a save. Now, the X factor in this one, obviously, is Alvarado may not close. Maybe it's Kimbrel. Any Philly fans out there? What's the situation in Philly? Is Kimbrel just totally, is he done as far as closing? Is that not going to happen? He's been getting lit up. Pitched in a 11-4 loss against the Mets. He struck out the side in a non-save situation. He pitched an inning, didn't get the save. in a 3-2 loss against Pittsburgh. And then before that, he had blown back-to-back save opportunities against Pittsburgh and the Mets. Kimbrel, 23 saves this year. Now, the guy I have in his place is Jose Alvarado. And as I'm saying this, I'm thinking I want to stay away from the situation. Now, Alvarado did pick up 2 saves against the Mets late in the season. He's on a little bit of a heater. And so that's why as I'm talking about this, I don't like not knowing who's going to close. I don't think I will. I don't think I'm going to do that. And the postseason's a different beast, period. You know who I'm going to go with is Tanner Scott. Tanner Scott, 12 saves this year. And his last 4 appearances, 3 saves for Miami. I'll do that. Oh, I already have him. Doc, you already have him. So I'm so smart, I already had him in. So who else do we have? Do we do Kevin Ginkel? It's his situation. Kevin Ginkel. 4 saves this year. No, I don't think so. And he has not been good. Tanner Scott has been fire. Do I even look at Chapman? 6 saves in 2023. No, thank you. I don't like any of these guys. Jason Adam hasn't pitched since the 22nd. He is injured. I don't like any of these choices, guys. Oof. Well, I'll just keep it. I'll keep. I'll go with Kimbrel. I'll go with Kimbrel. I don't feel good about it, but no, you know what? Going back, Alvarado. Alvarado. It's a coin flip. Other guys we got. Alejandro Kirk has been on a little bit of a roll. Like the silver catcher. Here's the problem. I've got guys. I've got live perfects, but none of them are playing. Aaron Judge's season is over. Acuna and Betts will not be playing anytime soon, unfortunately. So we're just trying to limp along with those diamonds and golds we have. No Matt Olson for me. None of that either. Carlos Rodon, don't start him. He's not pitching, obviously, again this time of year. Boy, Rodon, that did not go well in the Bronx. That was interesting. Spencer Strider, would love to get him. Can't wait for that. So go ahead. All right, D Medro mentioning some spec buys right now, saying Miguel Castro, Nick Martinez, Grayson Rodriguez, solid picks to go from bronze, iron to silver. One of them could go gold as well. Low investment, medium rewards. Well, let's go ahead and submit this team first. Don't ever forget to submit that PT Live roster. Don't you forget it. Okay, now let's take a look. Let's see real quick. Let's look at like Miguel Castro. Miguel Castro, we've got 4, so I don't know if I'm allowed to buy any more. But Miguel could jump from bronze to silver. Why not? Just bought it. I don't know what the max is. Let's see if we can buy another. Let me. All right. What's the limit here? 38. All right. I'll stop now. You guys want to jump in on it. Miguel Castro could get you up to 100 or more. What other ones? Nick Martinez. We got 2 or 3 of them. Let's go buy some more. 26, 26. Oh, I done bought them all. All right. Well, look for Nick Martinez. More will be out there, guys. And Grayson Rodriguez at 38. Well, looks like I bought him. But keep it. There's more of them. Good, good, good. So hopefully there's some more 38s out there if you want to go ahead and buy that one. Just scored a double of an Immortal Season Bellinger. Yes, let's go. Speaking of which, I do have to get going, and we always like to end our stream with a little pack rip. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and open them packs. We'll start here, and we'll go until we get at least a, let's say until we get a diamond. Say until we get a diamond. And we will do our own version of Call Your Shot. Going to sell this Lenny Dykstra if you need that for the 1963 mission. There it is. Miller Huggins as well. We could go ahead and sell that. That's another dupe. We always go low. We always go the lowest one. So if you need any of those cards, go ahead and do it. Okay, so we're open until we get a diamond. And when we get a diamond or better, in chat, I'm going to ask you, what's the card? And if you get it right, we'll hook you up with 10 packs. No form necessary. No form necessary. There's Ernie Whitt. Ernie Whitt. PBE Sim rating with a party of 38. Welcome in, PBE Sim, guys. Do shoutouts work on this channel? Let me see if my shoutouts work. I cannot. But you know what I can do? I bet I could do this. There we go. There's a link, guys. If you want to check out some great streaming action, get some awesome drops, hang out with PBE Sim. They're doing the Pure Base. Is it Pro Baseball Experience? Excuse me. Pro Baseball Experience. Right there, guys. Give them a follow. Drew Pomeranz. There's another cell, part of the Mickey Lalich mission. And there's a gold. Okay, we'll go ahead and open this guy up. We shall, let's see what's going on with this Devers card. A lot of people trying to sell it right now. We've already got one. We'll go 1289. 1289. We don't think that's going to jump up to diamond. Another pack. Gary Sanchez. And Whitey Alperman. We do not have the Whitey Alperman card. We'll keep that. Tommy Thevenow. Nameless Nate, what is up? First time chatter. Welcome. Just opening some packs before we call it a night. We did Monday Night Baseball. Tonight's matchup was, well, the worst ever. Literally. 120 lost New York Mets of 1962. And the 119 loss 2003 Tigers. And Friel, you are going to be gone. We will continue that series on my channel, Dr. Dynastic, tomorrow. Best of 3 series. There's a lot of historic cards here. So it was, what was the final? 11-1? 11-2, I believe. And the 62 Mets lost again. Dane Smith, everybody wants to rule the world. Frankie Crosetti. Those are all new cards there. New card. No, Wally Bunker. Go Tigers indeed. Poor who trying to ball. Let's go. Pat McNulty. Last time I talked about Pat McNulty, I was talking about The Wire. McNulty. You know, you know. Named the #1 movie or TV series of all time by IGN. The Wire. Vladimir Guerrero, part of the April Fool's mission and Home Run Derby mission. And Jim Fogarty, that is going for 36. We'll just quick sell that. That's fine. And let's continue. Am I going to get more drops? Oh, Doc, you did. You darn it. I'm not getting my own drops. What happens when you have multiple tabs going? Sarge Connolly, 74 for you, Sarge. Randy Johnson, not that Randy Johnson, part of the April Fool's Day mission. And Glenn Davis. All of those receivers. Ben Zobrist, the build lineup, the BAL. For Ben, surprisingly, I have the Ben Zobrist. I just bought it outright. Go ahead and keep it at this point. Come on, let's get you guys a diamond here. All right, I'll just keep on opening until we get it. Quick. Leslie Green. George Castor. Nellie Fox. A lot of historics there. And there's the diamond. Okay, we got the diamond. And now I need you to play along with me in chat. Give me a name. And if you get it right, we're going to give you 10 packs. No form necessary. Just give me a name. Kirby says Paul Goldschmidt. Kirby, great to see you. Kirby's one of our subscribers on Dr. Dynastic. Minerva says, let's go Immortal. I would love that. I've never gotten an Immortal. Norm Cash says, who trying to ball? Smushy, going with Bo Bichette. Nameless is rating on in from PBE Sims, says Acuna. Who trying to ball is going with Norm Cash. Yep. Kevin Gossman for Caged Wisdom and for D. Mendro. Wouldn't that be ironic since I just bought the Gossman? Lars Nootbaar for STL Jason. Jason, I feel like on a night where you got to choose the matchup, you should get Lars Nootbaar finally. Tim Linscomb says Dono. Live Kershaw for Breedoff. Neftali Feliz for Jay Dalton. And another vote for Bichette from Embezzler 78. Immortal Mattingly. Busmucker, thank you for that. I would love to get the pride of Evansville on my squad. Donnie Baseball. Brent bought a Jeter Immortal. Well, that's great. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and open it then. Let's go and see what it is. Zach Eflin. We already have the Eflin. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Why is this Zach Eflin card? Ah, there we go. Guys, Zach Eflin is a card you want to get right now. You want to get this card badly. Let's show you why. Zach Eflin. I'm gonna pull up the stats here, guys. Eflin on the year, 3.50 ERA, 186 strikeouts and 177 innings. But I'm gonna direct you to his how he's pitched as of late. Now, he did get touched up for 3 runs in 5 innings against Boston at Fenway, his last start. Before that, 10 Ks in 5 innings, 2 runs against the Angels. Before that, 8 Ks, 1 run, 1 hit in Baltimore against the O's. Go the Wire. 3 runs, 6 strikeouts in a win against Seattle. 7 strikeouts, 3 runs in a win against Boston. And then the month before that, Miami, 6 1/3, 4 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts. Against the Yankees, 6 innings, 2 runs, 11 strikeouts. And then his 3 starts, 3 out of his 4 starts before that, 1 run or less. 1 run or less. This card you want for 2 reasons. One is, does it go perfect? I don't know. I think that's a big leap. I don't know if he would. But I can tell you it won't go down. So he's a lock for Diamond. And on top of that, you want this card for your PT Live. you want this card. That's what I'm saying. Now, the price is $5,400 right now. If anybody would like it, I will go lower than that. I'm going to give it to you for $5,389. I'm contemplating not even putting it out there, period. But I'll do it. I'm going to sell it. So if somebody would like this card for your PT Live in a non-gougy price, $5,389, please buy it. Let me know if you get it. I want somebody to get that card. And unfortunately, nobody got Eflin, but that's okay. Speaking of Harvey Haddix, before we go, there was going to be a Harvey Haddix reference with a 13-inning perfecto going. You're going to have to stay tuned for Game 2 of that series tomorrow between the 62 Mets and 2003 Tigers for that reference. We were not able to work that in, but it is in these notes every night, every Monday night. We do the research just like the pros do, and we do that. So, folks, that is it. Oh, if it goes perfect, you'll be sorry. I won't, Brett. You know why? Because I'm hooking up the Out of the Park community. That's what we do. That's what we do. It's only perfect points. If you make somebody's day, worth it. All right, folks, that is a wrap here from the Dynastic Studios and Club 42. If you'd like to join me tomorrow, my name is Dr. Dynastic, and we'll see you then. Otherwise, I will see you Monday next week on Monday Night Baseball. STL Jason, thanks for coming up with this matchup. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Awesome, awesome times. All right, folks, we're going to end with a little promo sizzle reel. And then we'll close out with a little scoreboard watching as well, the billboard to get you those last minute drops. And then we'll be raiding into Laptop Hound, who is streaming hockey night in Canada with Laptop Hound. All right, folks, that's a wrap. I'll see you tomorrow on Dr. Dynastic and Monday right here on Monday Night Baseball.
24 years of excellence have all led to this. Out of the Park Baseball 24 is the definitive award-winning MLB strategy game. Play what the pros play. Out of the Park Baseball 24 takes baseball strategy to the next level like never before. All new on-screen analytics to power your decision-making, giving you a comprehensive view of the field. Dive deeper into the action with new 3D animations and visual improvements that bring the game to life. The most detailed GM mode in sports games keeps raising the realness bar. The most authentic experience ever. And Perfect Team swings back with a whole new experience. The incredible long-running baseball strategy series never stops hustling to be the best. Turn your team into a dynasty. Win the World Series. Out of the Park Baseball 24, the infinite baseball sandbox. Available March 2023.
All right, folks, you can stick around if you still need those drops here tonight. We're going to stick around and leave that slate up for those 300 of you still watching. We'll let you get those drops for a few more minutes. And I do take requests, so if you got a certain number in mind, let me know in chat, because we don't want to leave you hanging here on your drops. And then we'll be raiding into Laptop Hound.
Palmetier had a cool name. I loved his last name. But I'm serious, Buffalo, I barely remember. They barely register in my memory. And for this thing, I just want to say this is like the OG Oscar mess up that happened a few years ago. The winner is oops. So I didn't know this had happened. So this is the OG. But yeah, I don't remember. I remember all the goals and that they were dominant, but Habs and Sabres were not a thing. So it didn't register in my memories. I remember Eddie Cheevers, Mike Palmetier, all these good teams, but not the Sabres, unfortunately. Sorry, Sabres fans.
And I'd like just to welcome in Dr. Dynastic from OOTP. Thank you for bringing in a crew here over to watch the Black Aces NHL podcast. Welcome in, everyone. We are talking about the guffaw, the almost tragic mistake that happened back in 1970 when Vancouver and Buffalo came into the league and a wheel, go figure, a wheel was spun to see who would get the first overall pick. And the NHL president at the time, Clarence Campbell, announced that the Canucks would get the pick because he thought it landed on 1. But apparently his eyesight was bad because Buffalo pointed out that, Mr. President, that's not a 1, that's an 11. And in that case, the pick went to Buffalo. Eric, I know you're a little younger to remember, Gilbert when he came into the league, but obviously you grew up watching him, one of the best players of his generation. What do you remember about Gilbert Perreault?
I remember he stands out quite a bit when they were playing the Islanders, when the Islanders were doing the Dynasty. And they were one of the teams the Islanders defeated probably around 80, 81.